Hola, how are you doing? Let me know if you can hear me, by the way. Let me know if you can hear me. We can hear you. All right, great. Um, I'm not going to be on here for very long. Like, I don't know how long I'm going to be on here because I'm about to once I get the once I get the all clear uh, from my lady friend, I'm going to be leaving. So this is going to be very fast. I'm doing a little challenge here, challenging myself to see how fast I can do some of these, but not even going to waste any time. Divine timing, you can ask your question. Things I'm just going to go through things pretty fast here. Uh, just had some time to kill, so I'm like, hey, you know what? I haven't been on for a hot minute, so might as well jump on, do a couple of readings, and then up, and away I go. And then K for sight. It's good to see you as well. Uh, you can have your question ready. What advice does Spirit have for me this coming month? All right. Okay. For you, divine timing. There's two energies attached to this overthinking card here, or not overthinking card, but it's the thinker card basically. Um, so yeah, you've been doing a lot of thinking, a lot of contemplating here with this, but there's also an energy of overthinking here, and I feel like it has something to do with uh, love and relationships because we have soulmates here. So either there could be, and then we have the not for you energy at the bottom of the deck here as well. And underneath that, we have happy, happy. So you could have gone through something recently, and recent could be subjective. I mean, I don't know how recent. It could be just somebody that you were in a relationship with in the past. Uh, Show me this. Thinker, soulmate, and not for you. A couple of cards here to throw all this together here. Right, the chariot here is Cancer energy. Two of Cups. Yep, there's the relationship energy. Ace of Wands. Knight of Cups. Okay, so this to me, this to me feels like. Oh, and then we have the Ten of. Okay, so this could be one of two things. There's past and new energy here for you. All right. So the first thing is there's two energies attached to this. I think you just overthink in general. That's part of this energy, but there's also a ruminating, like constantly you've been thinking about something or someone. I feel like it's whoever this person is that's not for you. Like, because at the bottom of the deck we have this Ten of Swords, something ended. So um, there's two energies here. You have two romantic energies attached to you because underneath the not for you, you have the happy, happy. So, and then you have soulmates, and the soulmates is kind of like attached to both energies. So, some point, somewhere, something happened with somebody. Uh, you had an ending with a past person, uh, and the divine is giving you confirmation that that person was not your person. And so, if you've been thinking about that person or you've just been overthinking about that situation, the divine is saying, hey, look, it's okay to let that go because you have something new coming in. And the new person coming in for you is going to make you very happy here. And the exchanging gift cards that's here for you essentially is just an energy of equality, meaning, it's like this person is going to feel like a gift for you in your life. You're going to feel like a gift for them in their life. And then when you meet this person, you're going to, with the deep knowing here, you're going to realize that this person is different. You're just going to sense things and you're going to know things. It's going to be a contrast first from what you've experienced so far, in terms of like the other person from your past. It's gonna be a total different contrast. You're gonna be like, man, wow, I didn't know I could meet somebody and feel this way and experience this because I've never experienced anything like it before. So you do have love coming towards you, and that's what we see here with the Chariot. So you got the Chariot. This is, you know, this person's coming towards you. You have the Two of Cups. There's two energies. There's the past energy, and then there's the new energy attached to this. But obviously, we're not concerned with the past energy because the past is the past. That's why this is here, saying, hey, just let it go. Not for you. There's nothing else to know about that. But this person coming towards you, um, I'm gonna say between now and like it's July, August. I'm going to say between now and the end of August, you could potentially take that with a grain of salt. You have the Ace of Wands and the Knight of Cups. So this new person that's coming towards you, it's going to be a lot of passion, a lot of chemistry, and there's going to be a deep romantic connection here with this person. All right. Now we have the Observer energy here. The Observer card is basically saying that you're going to have to get out of your own way mentally because overthinking is gonna sabotage. If you stay in this overthinking energy, then you will overthink this new person right out of your life. Okay, so you need to stay neutral, and you need to observe what shows up for you. So you have somebody coming, you have new love coming towards you between now and I'm gonna say the end of August, but take it with a grain of salt. And there's somebody else that you've already had a relationship with, from your past, and you need to let that go. All right, K for sight. You may ask your question. Everybody just jumping on, I'm just going to give you guys all fair warning. I'm not going to be here for very long. I'm just hopping on to just do some random quick readings for everybody because I'm going to be leaving. I don't know when. It could be 5 minutes. It could be 10 minutes. It could be 30 minutes. When my lady friend sends me the green light message saying, hey, I'm ready for you to come over, I will be leaving. So just everybody who's hopping on, if I don't get to you, then I apologize in advance because I'm not going to be on for very long. Okay, what's ahead? What's ahead? What near future? Okay. Near future energy, K for sight. And for those of you that are in the United States, happy 4th of July. Hope you guys enjoy yourselves, whatever you do. All right, K for sight. You're being asked to have the courage to either end something or to let go of something. So you have the and the reason. So right now, the higher power in reverse, this card is basically saying that you are not listening to your intuition. You're not pursuing things that are in your highest good. I'm just here to keep it real. We have the endings here. Something needs to end if it hasn't already, because it's not in alignment with what's in your highest good. And it's been there's deception here. Now this could be self-deception or it could be deception from somebody else. It could be both. One, the other, or both. What's underneath that? Building. So I'm just going to pull one or two cards on this endings here. Now the courage energy is about you needing to do the difficult thing. You know, courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is doing something even though you're scared, you're afraid, you're uncertain, you don't know all the answers, you don't have all the answers. You know, it's it's anything in life that calls us to action despite not knowing the outcome, not knowing what's going to happen when we take that action. Now, both of these cards just came out sideways, by the way. So we have the Lover, so obviously this is a relationship thing for you. The Six of Pentacles is here as well. So this is again, um, the Six of Pentacles with the deception could mean that either the person attached to you or whatever situation you were in, somebody was giving to multiple people. If not, it doesn't matter. The Lovers is the same energy because the Lovers is plural. There could have been multiple people involved in a deceptive situation that you're attached to. But either way, again, it doesn't really matter. Um, Give me one more card here. A King of Pentacles. Okay, so we have Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn energy. That could be you. That could be somebody else. That could be, I don't know who within that. It doesn't have to be a Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn, but it can be. Could be somebody that was married, or somebody who does really well for themselves financially, or maybe just somebody that you thought that you were going to have a forever situation with. But the point is that whatever the situation is, it's deceptive. It needs to end if it hasn't ended. And if it has ended, then you need to let it go because it's not in your highest good. In fact, it's taking you away from what's in your highest good. And it's crippling it's actually having a profound effect on your faith. And again, when I say faith, I don't mean like religion or anything like that. I'm just saying like it's creating a negative energy within you, a negative belief system, a negative mindset. It's going to turn you into a pessimistic person where it's like, well, there's no good people anymore. I'll never find love. All men, all women, whatever, are assholes and this and that and the other, and I'll never find love again, so I'm not even going to try. Or you're just like, well, screw it, I'm not going to put effort into anything anymore because every time I try, I get hurt, so now I'm just not going to put effort in going forward. There's all kinds of negative possibilities that occur when we are disconnected from our source, our divinity. All right. So the courage energy is saying, hey, you're going to have the courage to let this go because it's not meant for you. And you have the contract in reverse. Another word for contract would be expectations. It's like there were unrealistic expectations attached to this situation. So maybe you had an expectation that whatever the situation was or will be with whatever this is going on with you, you were thinking it was going to be one thing and it was, it wasn't. And then finally with the integration energy, integration is all about taking the lessons that we've learned and applying it to our lives. So as I like to say, you never lose if you learn. Because there's something here in this situation that you've gone through that is meant to teach you something, to improve you, to grow you, and turn you into a better version of yourself, which would eventually, hopefully, mean that this card would be upright. Right now, this card is in reverse. This is the most important card. In reverse, you're completely disconnected from your source. Well, this situation is teaching you that if you continue to betray yourself throughout your life and you continue to stay in this energy, continue to remain disconnected from your divinity, then you're going to continue to repeat these same patterns and you're not going to get what you want out of life. So if all else, and I'm not saying that this is the only lesson you're here to learn, there could be multiple lessons here for you to learn, but this is a quick reading. Integration is saying as you learn about the things that this situation was meant to teach you, when you apply them to yourself, you learn the spiritual lessons, the practical lessons, and all the lessons, and you integrate them. Integration doesn't mean you just think about them. It means you have a realization, an awakening to, like, okay, this is what needs to change within me, and this is what I need to do moving forward. So you integrate those things into yourself so that you actually apply those changes to you. You evolve, you change, and you become a different version of who you were than the version that you are right now. And that's essentially what you're meant to know, what you're meant to do moving forward, um, in the next, you know, I would say 30 to 90 days. Anything beyond that is not really important right now. So it's important for you to really focus on your personal development right now, so that once you become that next better version of yourself, then you can start to attract new and better and different things into your life. All right. All right. So now I'm going to scroll back up. And again, just for everybody who's hopping on, welcome, welcome. I'm not going to be here for very long. I am just here. Well, I don't know what just happened. Okay, that was weird. Did I lose? What just happened? Did I just lose my, or did my computer just do something crazy? Am I here? Am I here? Am I here? Okay, I think I'm still here. I hope I'm still here. You guys let me know if you can still hear me, because my computer just completely blacked out. All right, Cricket Roast Ada, you can ask your question, assuming I'm still on. Okay, we here. All right, so you're still here. I don't know what just happened. My computer just blacked out. So, all right, Cricket Roast Ada, you are up next. Ask your question, and then after that, we have Chelsea Daly. And guys, if you're new to my channel, please click the like and subscribe button for me. And also, for those of you that are new, go back to my videos in my playlist. I uploaded, I don't know, maybe a week ago, all the July, it's an all signs, all zodiac signs. There's timestamps. You can go right to your timestamp and you can see what's coming up for you in the month of July. So, um, all of you guys who haven't seen that video, go check it out. It's posted. Again, all zodiac signs. Go to the description box. There's timestamps there, and you can see. You can just skip right to your sign and watch and see what's coming up for you in July. So that's just like a collective reading for everybody. Also, if you'd like to book a personal private reading, you can do that. The information for that is in the description box below as well. So, Cricket Roast Ada, you're up next. And then Chelsea, be ready with your question after her, because once I get my once I get my heads up, my text message, I'm gonna be peacing out. So I'm not gonna be on here for very long. I have plans tonight. Is that your question, Chelsea? I protected strongly by male entity? I have no idea what that means. All right. If you guys don't type your questions when I call on you, I've got to go on to the next person because, like I said, I'm just going to be here for just a very short amount of time. Alwish Hassan? I don't know if I'm saying your name correctly, but you can post your question, Alwish Hassan. And then And then die trauma something. You can ask your question as well. Am I protected by a male spirit? Um, all right. Let's. I'll try to. I'll try to get you a question about that. Is Chelsea protected by a male spirit? I'm gonna say yes and no. I don't know. Yes and no. Potentially, possibly. We have the Ten of Pentacles. I mean, this is someone like family energy, so you're definitely surrounded by people who have passed on, like family members, soul tribe, people from you know, people that you know who've passed on, or maybe even people that you don't know who've passed on. So you're definitely, because we all are. We all have people who've passed on or passed on to the other side who watch over us. So in that regard, yes. But if there's like a specific, and we have the Seven of Cups, which shows you that there's just multiple people that are keeping an eye on you. But the Judgment card and the Three of Swords in reverse, the Judgment in reverse and the Three of Swords, there's a question mark here. I don't know. Uh, the Three of Swords is telling me that maybe there's somebody who died, maybe that you loved, and maybe that's why you're asking. I'm not sure. And the Judgment energy in reverse is maybe somebody who made a bad decision, like or maybe they just had a lot of bad decisions they made in their life. That could be anything. That could be like, hey, this person drank too much, they partied too much, maybe they committed suicide, maybe they just lived a crazy lifestyle. But the Three of Swords is attached to you, so you're obviously very hurt, and you're feeling very heartbroken. You're there's somebody that you're thinking about, and you're feeling the pain of their loss and their absence. Which my heart goes out to you for that. I know what it's like to lose somebody to death. Um, but with the Ten of Pentacles, the Nine of Cups, and the Seven of Cups, it's not one person. There's not just one person that's surrounding you or watching over you. There's multiple people. Like the Nine of Cups and the Seven of Cups, you've got a bunch of people that are looking over you and watching after you. But with this Judgment card in reverse, there's something here about somebody who made a bad decision, a wrong decision. And I feel that whatever their decisions, whatever choices they are making for their life, obviously contributed to uh, potentially their loss of life. I could be wrong about that. I could be wrong about that. But I see you hurting here about somebody. So I don't know I don't know what happened to this person, or what. Obviously I don't know the details of your situation, but yes, you have multiple people watching over you. People that are part of your soul tribe, people that are family members, potentially friends. So you definitely have people on the other side that are watching over you. Are they living through you? No, I don't. I wouldn't say they're living through you. You have your own mission. You have your own purpose in life. You came here with your own destiny, um, they're there to support you. They're there to, you know, be of service to you, guide you, assist you, send you messages, encourage you, protect you when they can. But there's limitations to all of that because, we have free will. And so there's a level of, there's certain rules that people have on the other side. It's like they can help us do some things, but they're not allowed to do other things because we are here with our own free will to learn, to grow, and to experience things, and sometimes those things are painful things. Sometimes we have to go through difficult things, and sometimes we're allowed to make bad decisions and poor choices for our lives because that's part of the learning, it's part of the lessons, it's part of everything that we came here for. So no, this person is not, um, they're not there to live through you because they lived their life. They came here, they had their mission, they had their destiny, they had the thing that they were supposed to do. And they either accomplished that or they didn't. And then you know, when we cross over the veil to the other side, we get to review our life and see, okay, well, this is what we accomplished, this is what we didn't accomplish. And you know, so anyway, that's what's going on here. Uh it's kind of it's a little bit of a difficult question to answer with cards. Um, you might get more answers by looking up a like a legit medium, somebody who can actually channel the other side. There's a few people there's a few people that I know of that I would recommend. You can look up a guy named, his name is Tony Maraca, or Anthony Maraca, and the last name is like Mroka or Mrocka. You can look him up. He's legit. And then I have a friend. Her name is Michelle Armstrong. You can just get online and you can Google Michelle the Medium. You can go to her website. You can book a session with her, and she's really, really gifted as well at channeling people from the other side. All right. A wish. A wish Hassan, if you're here, you can ask your question. Dietrom, Dietrom something. You can ask your question if you're still here. Scorpio, if you're here. And for those of you just hopping on, welcome. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Appreciate all of you. I'm not going to be on here for very long. Once my lady friend messages me, I will be ending the live because I have plans tonight. But I'm going to try to do as many of you as I can. How does Robert feel about reconciliation with me currently? All right. Yeah. And Maria, I see that you are here. You finally made it to a live reading. So you can have your question ready since I'm not seeing the other folks. Well, you guys had some, I don't know, it looks like you guys might have had some type of fight or conflict, Scorpio. We had the Five of Swords in reverse, So there was some type of conflict, some type of fight that you guys had, and the Five of Swords in reverse is all about ending the conflict, not fighting anymore. But they're not. The Knight of Swords is somebody who is definitely not like they're not. They're not wanting to take action right now. Like whatever this fight is that you had, they're like, hey, you know what? I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna go over and focus on myself. And you know, this person's not taking any action right now. You have the King of Cups. I don't know if this is you or the other person. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces energy with the King of Cups here. It doesn't have to be. This could just be. I mean, this, like I said, I don't know. This could be you. This could be them. And then you have the Five of Pentacles here. Neither one of you feels understood in this situation. You both feel misunderstood. You both feel like the other person rejected you. They feel like they rejected you. You feel like you rejected them. Bottom of the deck, this got out of hand really fast. You got the Tower here. So I don't know what happened. Things went from 0 to 100 and shit hit the fan. All right, what else? I mean, so right now, there's just no contact. Is there anything else? Is there like, what's going to come of this? All right, well, we have the Ace of Pentacles, so there's a little bit of a silver lining there for you. There's an opportunity. Now, it came out sideways, just like this one came out sideways. All right, Knight of Pentacles. All right, so that makes sense. All right, so this is the deal. When these cards come out sideways, it's an either or. It's not reversed, which means it's not going to happen, and it's not upright, which means it is going to happen. It's either or. In other words, it's dependent on what you do and what the other person does. All right. Now, at the bottom of the deck, you have the Devil. And then you have the Chariot. So, what the Devil is saying here is that you guys have a love-hate relationship. All right. And I'm just going to keep it real. So, on one hand, when things are good, it might be really good. When you guys are getting along, it's fiery, it's passionate. You can't keep your hands off each other. Might be the sex might be crazy. I don't know. But on the other hand, when things start to get bad, it gets really bad. So this relationship is like 0 to 100. There's no in between. It's either things are really, really good or things are really, really bad. And the Devil being here is like a very, very toxic energy, okay? So this relationship, and I'm just keeping it real with you, this relationship right now, and I'm not saying that it can't change later, but the way that it is right here, right now, this relationship is toxic. So, what this essentially is telling me is that you guys are more likely than not going to continue to repeat this pattern with each other unless you can figure out why it's toxic, and unless you and the other person make a conscious decision to change yourselves so that it's not toxic any longer. But that's going to require you guys to understand why it's toxic, and it's going to require you to understand what exactly it is that you need to change so that it's not toxic anymore. And if you can't identify what you're responsible for in making the relationship toxic, and your partner is not, aware of what they need to be responsible for to stop making it toxic, then it's just going to stay toxic. So you can't be a victim. You can't keep blaming each other. You can't keep projecting your shit onto each other. You can't be like, well, it's all their fault. It's not me, it's them. Like you're going to have to stop all that. And if you can do that, if you can take responsibility for yourself, for your issues, your problems, your fears, whatever the problems are that are causing these patterns, these cycles of toxicity to reoccur, unless you can take responsibility for that, nothing's going to change. and you're going to keep having these issues. Now, if you can take responsibility, then you have the chariot. And the chariot is about overcoming challenges. And if you can take responsibility and your partner can take responsibility, then you will have an opportunity for these cards to turn upright. All right. And this is all just, this is all possibility. Okay. So this is not, this isn't for sure that this is going to happen. It's just a possibility that it's going to happen. So if you follow, if you fix yourself, you focus on yourself, you take responsibility, you have an opportunity for a stable new beginning. Meaning, hey, we're going to start over, clean slate, start just completely clean slate and start all the way over again. Like we just met each other. All right. And then you're going to have to do things different with the Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles is consistent, stable, disciplined, steady. Like we learned what happened to us. We know why we got caught in these toxic cycles, and we're working on ourselves. And if we're willing to continue to work on ourselves and take responsibility, to take accountability, then you can slowly but surely you can move into something that's more stable and reliable. And then this shit up here won't happen anymore. But if you don't fix yourself and you don't take responsibility, then this relationship's pretty much over. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be over like maybe this time, maybe you'll get back together one or two more times because the devil is like a trauma bond, but it won't be long lasting. I was doing a reading for Scorpio. Hey Gene, it's good to see you, my friend. So, all right, Maria, you can ask your question since the other folks have not. And again, everybody that's hopping on, please subscribe, please like. And again, for all of you, those of you that have just hopped on, I'm not going to be on for very long. I have plans tonight with my lady friend, and when she gives me the green light, I will be ending the live. I'll be ending the reading because I have plans tonight. So I'm only here until she texts me and says, "Hey, it's time for you to come over." So just heads up on that. And one other thing as well, for those of you that are new or old, doesn't matter. You can go to my channel, you go to the video section, and you guys will see a video for July, Cancer season, July. It's all zodiac signs with timestamps. You guys can go watch that video as well if you haven't. And I've done an all signs reading, all zodiac signs. You can just go to the description. You'll see the timestamp for your sign. Click on that. Or if it's not clickable, you should be able to scroll to that part of the video and you guys can see what's coming up for you in the month of July. All right, Maria, what is your question? You finally made it. You finally made it to a reading. And Gene, I hope you're doing well, my friend. It's been a hot minute. Happy July, everybody. Happy 4th of July for those who celebrate. All right, so I'm just going to do I can't say for sure about the kids, but I'll ask. And whatever the cards say is whatever the cards say, but I'll ask. But we're going to look at you and Philip's relationship first. Yeah, we'll look at you and well, that's not a good sign. destruction. But let's not stop there. But so far, I'm going to say that's not a good sign. It's a tower moment energy for you and him. So all right, delays. Boss. Okay. Yep. Give me like 2 or 3 more. I want to know the outcome. All right. So the divine is saying that you guys can. All right. I'm gonna have to do this quick. There's a lot going on between you and Philip here. So right now, you and him both, we have the captain energy and we have the destruction energy. The problem between you two is that are you're both you both trigger each other into self-preservation, and you're both very stubborn, and you're both very strong-willed. You're both very, how do I say this without sounding like an asshole, or I'm just gonna say it and sound like an asshole. I'm not sure yet. You both want to be the boss. Like you both want to have the penis in the relationship, right? It's like you can be controlling and you can be difficult, and then he can be controlling and he can be difficult, right? Or there's the old saying that there's two cooks in the kitchen, and neither one of you guys are very good at being subordinate, meaning neither one of you are very good at being a follower. You want to be the leader and he wants to be the leader. You want to drive the car, he wants to drive the car. And on one hand, that's one of the qualities that's attracted you both together is that um that passionate kind of like we're super, we're no bullshit, we're no nonsense, we're both, you go for what you want, like it's a very fire like energy. And um so in that regard, you both have been attracted to each other for the same qualities, but the problem is that there's no polarity now. And so you guys need to learn how to be dance partners. Because when you dance with somebody, you watch people, like, if you ever watch any dance, like, you know, Dancing with the Stars or whatever, it doesn't matter. Any show or movie where there's two people dancing, or just ice skaters. If it's not dancing, just look at ice skating, right? The only way that ice skaters and dancers can do the thing that they do so well is because they both know how to move and flow with each other. There are moments within the dance or within the ice skating that the man is more in charge and the woman is, she's letting go and letting and trusting him. And there's other moments when the man is letting go and the woman's in charge and the man's having to trust. There's different movements. Okay. And the problem between you, and I'm not saying this is the only problem. I think there's other problems, but this is the problem that the divine is showing me. The problem right now is that you guys both want full and total control all the time. You don't want to give in, and he doesn't want to give in. And so there's two penises. He wants to have the big dick in the relationship, and you want to have the big dick in the relationship, and that doesn't work. You know, so you guys are going to have to figure out, and that's why the delay energy is here. The delay is saying that you guys are delaying the inevitable of one of two things. All right? There's two possibilities here for you guys. You're either delaying the inevitable destruction of your relationship and that's it, you're done, or you're delaying the fact that you can heal this and you can have a good outcome. Well, maybe he has betrayed you. And I see that at the bottom of the deck, you know. So underneath scarcity, illumination, destiny, integration, we have secrets. All these cards are pertaining to your reading. So again, I'm not, like I said over here a second ago, I'm not saying this is the only reason that you're having problems. This is just what's out on the table. I believe you. I believe that there's all kind of problems that you're having, which is why the destruction card is here. All right. So, well, but here's the problem. You're saying that's why you were being controlling, but that doesn't matter because all relationship success and all relationship failure are the result of one thing and one thing only, and that's cause and effect. So before, we have to go way back before he was cheating on you, there were things that you were doing that were triggering him. Now he's not here. He's not in the comments. So I can't talk to him and I can't ask him and I say, "Okay, well, what did she do to you? Why are you doing this? Why are you being, manipulative, controlling? Why did you cheat on her?" And he's going to give me an answer. And he's going to say, "Well, she's like this and she's like that and she does this and she does that." He's going to have a story about you just like you have a story about him. And no matter how thin you slice it, there's always two sides. And when people are hurt, you only hear one side. You hear the person who's hurting screaming the loudest, right? Or I'll give you an analogy. If my hand and your hand are in a door at the same time, right? Like my hand's in the door and your hand's in the door, and someone slams the door on both of our fingers at the same time, whose pain are you focused on? Are you focused on my pain when your hand is throbbing? Or are you focused on your pain? Right? And I think we know the answer. And that's what happens in a relationship. People end up hurting each other and they're focused on their own pain. So he's focused on his pain and he sees you as the problem. You're focused on your pain and you see him as the problem. But that doesn't fix it. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter how much you scream and you cry and you throw stones at the other person and go, "It's all their fault. It's all their fault. It's all their fault. They did this and they did that." And it's tit for tat. It's keeping score, right? Who's done more wrong? Well, from your perspective, when you're in pain, you think he's done worse things to you. He's done this, and I've got it all tracked out. I'm keeping tally of all the things that he's done wrong. And he's done the same thing to you. Well, I did this because she did that. And I'm not saying that two wrongs make a right. I'm just saying that this is what people do. This is relationship. This is what happens in most common relationships. Because you're two people who don't know what you don't know, and you don't know any better because no one taught you how to have a conscious relationship. No one taught you how to have a healthy relationship. You don't have the tools, skills, and knowledge to know what the fuck you're doing. So you're just doing whatever it is that you think the right thing is to do, which isn't the right thing to do because most of the time at this point and this stage of your relationship, and not just your stage, but anybody who's having a relationship that would be similar to your relationship, they spend most of their time in self-preservation, which all of this shit I wrote about in my book. So if you have a self-preserving relationship, meaning you're constantly triggered by your partner and you're constantly going into fight, flight, or freeze, then you're fucked. Because when you go into self-preservation, nine times out of 10, your partner's going to go into self-preservation. Because when you get triggered, you're going to do something that triggers them. You don't feel understood, they don't feel understood. You don't feel seen, they don't feel seen. You don't feel loved, they don't feel loved. So you have two people who are not relating anymore. They're just living in self-preservation. They're living in trauma. It's a trauma bond. So what I'm here to tell you is it doesn't matter. You can type away in the chat and you can say, well, but he did this and this is why I did that and did it. You can give me the story all day long, and I'm telling you, it doesn't fucking matter what the story is. It doesn't matter what he did. It doesn't matter that he's cheated and he did this and he did that, because you did things to him. So the story doesn't matter. People come to me all the time for relationship advice or relationship counseling, you know, and this is the very first thing that everybody does is they start bitching and moaning about what their partner did to them. And that's not the problem. The problem isn't what your partner's done to you. That's not the problem. The problem is a lack of accountability and responsibility. It's a lack of intentionality, and it's a lack of curiosity, and it's a lack of knowledge. When you don't have those things, then you're fucked. Period. So he's no better or no worse than you, and you're no better and you're no worse than him. All right? But I'm not here to do a seminar on relationships. That's just extra. What I just said was just giving you a little bit of something to think about. Your reading, getting back here to your reading, you have one of two outcomes here. Either this relationship has a chance to heal and you can make progress, and I'm going to show you why, because you have the building here, you have synchronicity, and you have progress. These three cards right here are saying, hey, there's a chance for you and your partner to heal and make this right. But it's going to require work. That's what the building is. It means you're going to have to put in maximum effort. It means he's going to have to put in maximum effort. It means you're both going to have to lay down your swords. You're both going to have to decide how to have a relationship and not a fucking UFC fight. Like, this is what this is. You and him are like two people in mixed martial arts fighting each other. You're in the octagon, you're in the cage, and you're fighting each other. Who's going to win? Who's in charge? That's not what a relationship is. A relationship isn't competing against your partner for who's in control. You're going to do what I want. You're going to do what I say. It's going to be my way or the highway. That's not a relationship. That's selfishness. That's egotistical. That's control. And not any part of that is love, unity, intimacy, vulnerability, connection. That's not a relationship. That's just two people projecting their toxicity and their trauma onto their partner so that they can feel like they're worthy of love. That's what that is. And you can do that with your partner if you want to. And up to this point, that's all you have been doing with your partner. That's it. This is what you've been doing with your partner up until now. And you can continue to do that. And if you do continue to do that, then it's over. Or you can make a new decision. You can say, hey, you know what? I don't want to fight anymore. I want to have a relationship. I want to relate to you. I want to know what it feels like to feel safe, seen, heard, and understood. I want to know what it's like to experience intimacy, vulnerability, passion, love, creativity. And that's a possibility here. So your relationship is not doomed to failure, but it's up to you what you decide to do. And you can't control what he does. So it all begins with you, like the serenity prayer. You have to understand, I am the only person that I can control. That's it. And I have to change me. That's it. That's the only thing I can change is myself. And if you're unwilling to change yourself because you think that it's his responsibility to change because he's the problem, I don't have to change. It's all his fault. And if he would just change, if my partner would just change, then everything would be okay. If he would just do what I want him to do, if he would just become the person I think that he should become, if all of this would just work the way that I think that it should work, because I'm God and I know what's best for him, for me. I know how to make this into the perfect relationship. He doesn't. And if he would just become my slave and do what I say, then this whole situation would be a-okay. And I could say the same thing to him, but he's not here in this reading. He's not here in this chat. So I can't talk to him. I have to talk to you. So can you fix this situation? It's possible, but you're going to have to let go of your control. You're going to have to let go of your story. You're going to have to let go of all the shit that he's done to you. You're going to have a completely different change of perspective, a whole perception shift of your situation and your relationship to this man. And if not, my honest to God advice with you is to just end the relationship now. Stop hurting each other. Like staying together isn't proving anything. That's even more pride and ego. It's like, well, I'm not going to be the one in the relationship, and he's over there. Well, I'm not going to end the relationship. So you're just going to keep shitting on each other and hurting each other because you're both so egotistical and so prideful and so controlling that you both refuse to leave the relationship. You're not in it because you love each other. You're in it because you have something to prove. And it's not even something to prove to each other. That's the problem. There's a huge spiritual lesson here for you to learn. A huge spiritual lesson here for you to learn, and for him too. But like I said, I can't talk to him because he's not here. Now, I said I would ask about kids for you. I really feel like that's the last important thing for you, is wondering about fucking children, especially when you're dealing with all this. That's the last thing you should be worried about. But I said that I would, so I will. You have the King of Swords. I'm assuming that's him. You have the Devil. There's the toxic relationship and the trauma bond. You need to be focused on you need to be focused on your spirituality, connecting to the divine, growing and evolving, getting out of the stuck devil energy, and then you have the Chariot. At the bottom of the deck, you have the Queen of Wands, which is you. But it's not you in a good way. It's you being connected to your ego here. And then you have the Chariot, which is you needing to overcome challenges first. And then underneath that, you have the Seven of Swords, which is you're betraying yourself. So the divine is basically agreeing with me. The divine is saying, look, the last fucking thing that you need to be worried about right now in your life is having fucking children. There's no kids here. There's nothing here whatsoever about children. And children aren't going to rescue you. Children aren't going to make you feel better. Children aren't going to make you feel loved. Children aren't going to give you the value, the significance, the good enough that you think that you would get by having children. Even if it's something you deeply desire, right now is definitely not the time for you to be thinking about kids. And if you bring kids into your life right now, then you're basically just, it's child abuse. I'm not going to hold back my words. If you have a child right now, while you're dealing with everything you're dealing with in your life because of who you are as a person, it's fucking child abuse. Because you're going to basically project all of your trauma and all of your shit onto a child, because now you think your child is going to give you the love that you're seeking outside of yourself. You have to find love within yourself. You're going to need to find fulfillment inside of yourself. You're not going to find fulfillment and love in your partner, and you're not going to find fulfillment and love inside of a man. And so until you stop seeking love outside of yourself and fulfillment outside of yourself, and you actually find love and fulfillment inside of who it is that you are, then you're going to keep repeating these cycles, whether it's with him or whether it's with somebody else. And your life is just going to be a traumatic shit show. And I don't say this to be an asshole. I know I'm being very direct and very straightforward, but I'm telling you, I'm saying this to you directly because I tell the truth. And because I actually care. And if I didn't care, I wouldn't say any of this to you. I'd give you a cheap, half-ass fucking, card reading, and you could go on your merry way. But I tell the truth here. And I say it passionately because I want you to be happy. I want you to be fulfilled. And I want you to fix, these issues that are very fixable so you can actually have the life that you want to live, right? And that's why I'm here. I could be doing a million things right now, but I got on here, you know, because I had time, obviously, but I come out here and I do this to help all of you guys. But I don't sugarcoat shit, and this isn't fucking unicorn fairy rainbow tarot, 1111 on your YouTube playlist. You know, like I'm gonna tell you the truth, all of you. You get the truth here, and I'm not here to tell you what you want to hear. I'm here to tell you the truth. All right, so who's next? Uh, Latoya. Latoya, you can ask your question, and then Leonda, have your question. Luyanda, have your question up next after that. You're right. It may be best to end it. I'm not disagreeing with that at all. You're 100% right. But you've known that, Mario. You've known this for how long? You've known this for how long? If you choose not to listen to your intuition about the condition of your relationship, you've known this. Yeah, it's probably been best to end this relationship for a long time. And I could say the same thing to your partner, but that's neither here nor there. Hey, Elaine. All right. Gonna have to move on. If you guys aren't ready with your questions, I'm gonna move quick, 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 quick. You guys are gonna have your questions ready, like pre-typed out, ready to send, because, like I said, when my lady friend sends me the text, it gives me the green light. I'm gone. Leonda, if you're here, Farrell Ann, if you're here, I'm sorry, LP. I skipped over LP. LP, if you're here, LP. Okay, Elaine donated. Never mind. Thank you, Elaine. What is my current journey with the twin flame? Okay, never mind. Elaine donated. Thank you, Elaine. It's good to see you, my friend. LP, you can have your question up. So as soon as I finish, Elaine, you can ask your question. Oh boy. Okay. All right. So the first thing, Elaine, and don't hold me to this, but your twin flame might, they might have a loss this year. It could be a loss of a loved one. a loss. I mean, I'm just getting loss, a substantial loss this year that really gets them thinking, like gets them kind of like puts them into like a philosophical type of um it really starts making them think about the purpose and the meaning of life. Like you know, it kind of pulls them out of the everyday, you know, the everyday state that they've been living in. Like, oh, I'm just like, you know, like, because I feel like right now your twin flame is very distracted, which we have the superficial card here, and there's a lot of distracted energy here. And so your twin flame is getting spends most of their time distracted, caught up in the Groundhog's Day, doing the same thing every day, doing their routine, whatever. It's like there are these moments where they have kind of like things that occur to them, right? Like we have that's why we have the illumination energy here. There are these moments where things come to them, whether it's dreams, whether it's synchronicities, and and they're aware. Now I'm going to tell you this as well. Your twin flame has been avoiding their they keep trying to avoid their spiritual awakening here. And the reason that they're avoiding their spiritual awakening is because they're still dealing with something from their past, which is tied to the scarcity energy. Now, this could just be that they don't feel like they're good enough. They could have been abandoned when they were young. They could have been abused when they were young. And so what they're really focused on more than anything is certainty. With the Fortress card, all right? So they're very guarded. Like they don't let things in easily at all. And so whether they're aware of it or not, and I don't really feel like they are, but unconsciously their perception, their belief of the world is I have to protect myself at all costs. And people who live their life in protection mode all the time because they're so afraid of being hurt, so afraid of being let down and disappointed and abandoned, it's like, okay, well, on the one hand, you keep everything you prevent yourself from being hurt to some degree, but on the other hand, you also keep all the things that you want out as well. So you might keep pain and disappointment out, but then you're also keeping love, intimacy, connection, and relationship out. You know, and this is a very miserable place for your person to be because they're right now they're in the void. And the void is just like the picture on this card. It's a black hole, it's an abyss of nothingness. It's emptiness. It's spiritual bankruptcy. Meaning that no matter what your twin flame is doing, they are not happy, content, or fulfilled. Now, they might present themselves like, "Hey, everything is fine, everything's dandy, I'm perfect, I'm okay." But it's not about what you see on the outside, it's about what's going on inside of them. And what's going on inside of them is they're completely empty. They're void. They're void of happiness, fulfillment, and contentment. They're completely empty inside. And they're longing. They want to be happy. They want to be fulfilled. They want love. They want unity. They want connection. They want all these things. It's just there's so many of these other issues that they haven't addressed that's getting in the way. However, here's the silver lining. There's progress. So the divine is saying right now they're in the void, but and oh, I forgot to tell you, we have the timing card in reverse here, which is saying it's just a delay, meaning that because of their actions, their behaviors, and their issues and their patterns, they're creating these delays in acquiring and obtaining their own fulfillment, which really has nothing to do with you, because you can't control any of this. None of this has anything to do with you. It doesn't have anything to do with your ability to love this person, to be there for this person, to support this person, to understand this person. None of this has anything to do with you. All of this has everything to do with them. So I feel that something is going to happen between now and the end of the year where they're going to experience some type of loss. And again, I don't know if it's like somebody they love dies, they lose their job, they lose their health. Something is going to happen. There's some type of loss. And it's going to hit them. And it's going to rattle them. It's going to wake them up. And as a result of them waking up, the illumination and the ascension energy, finally, they're going to realize, hey, things have to change. And then that's when they're going to start to experience progress. All right. And then after progress, once they realize things need to change, now after they start to work on themselves and realize all the things, we have Genesis. This is a new beginning. This is like the Fool card. So this is them basically starting a brand new life and essentially and potentially starting, coming towards you. So this could be a new beginning for them. It could be a new beginning for both of you. It's not 100% clear there. Underneath that, the letting go energy, this is them having to realize that, hey, there are things in my life. You see the sun or the moon in the background that's crying there. And then you have the woman who's also looking kind of, she's looking kind of sullen inside as well. And so the moon, again, the moon represents the unknown, the unconscious, the stuff that's hidden deep down inside of us, our emotions, our feelings. And so again, whatever the thing is that she loses, that she's going to, whatever the loss is that she's going to experience is kind of what's triggering that moon card energy. And then she's going to realize, oh, there were things in my life that I've been living with for my whole life. I've been living with this scarcity, whatever is attached to that scarcity energy. I've been living with that my entire life. And it's been affecting me. It's been causing all these issues and problems. And they're finally realizing, I'm never going to be happy unless I let this go. And then after they let it go, that's when everything changes. Favored is here. This is the star card energy. This is the star card energy. This is healing. This is hope. This is faith. This is renewal. This is a total change of direction. This is finally illumination, seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. But for you, this is you starting to get what it, this is you seeing things turn in your favor as well. Again, the star energy in tarot, getting what you hope for, getting what you wish for. So your person, your twin flame, they've been ignoring. So all these things, you've gotten readings about them in the past. And it's like the divine keeps trying to send messages to them and put them in situations and send people and synchronicities. And like I said earlier, your twin flame has been ignoring all of that. Well, whatever ends up happening to them between now and the end of the year, they're not going to be able to ignore it. It's going to rattle them. And so they're going to go through something. I don't know what, but they're going to go through something that's going to trigger them into an awakening. And that's when things are really going to start to change for them and unfold for them. But I don't know if that's going to happen soon or if it's going to happen towards the end of the year. I'm not sure. I mean, for all I know, it might already be happening. Like maybe something's already unfolding. I'm not sure. I don't feel like it is, but I don't have like an indication of timing there. If that makes sense. Well, hello, Gina, and welcome everybody. Again, just want to let everybody know. Welcome to the channel if you're new here. please like and subscribe to the channel. Also, go back to my main page, click on the videos, and in the playlist, for those of you who have not seen it, especially if you're new, then obviously you wouldn't have seen it. And on the playlist, you will see a reading for July, Cancer season. It's all 12 zodiac signs with timestamps. You guys can go there. You can click on that. You can go watch it, and you can see what's coming up for you in the month of July. Okay, so that video is there for all of you. I posted it about like a week ago or so. So if you haven't watched it, there might be some additional information there for you as well. All right, Gina, you donated. You can post your question. Do I see a reconciliation with you and her? I do. Uh, that's what the Elaine with the favored card that came out a second ago. It had the little white star on it. That's favor. That's the you guys. It's the star card energy. So I'll show it. I'll go through it real quick. I'll show this card right here for you, Elaine. This card is you getting your wish. So that's a yes. I feel like once they go through whatever they're going through, then you guys will have an opportunity to come back together there. My question is, what the heck? Why is your ex coming over every night? He wants to get laid. Come on, Gina. Come on, Gina. This ain't your first rodeo. He's had the goods before. He wants the goods again. I'm just kidding. I'll find out. But I imagine he probably wants the goodies. Okay. I see what this is. I see what's going on here. You're gonna say this doesn't make any sense because he's your ex, but I'm just telling you what I got. First card is we have mentorship. Second card, we have renewal. We have prisoner. We have investments. We have sixth sense. And then we have some other cards here at the bottom of the deck. He doesn't know how to deal with the opposite sex. Like he likes whoever this person that he's with, like obviously he likes this girl you're saying that he's with, 18-year-old. But he's also having this realization that like no matter what he does, he can't seem to win when it comes to the opposite sex. So he basically is, because he trusts you, whether you believe that or not, it's true. He has some type of trust with you. And so he's like wanting to understand. And so he's wanting to like get your opinion, your information, your knowledge to help him understand Like, what am I doing wrong? Like, why figure this out? Now, there's this part of him that's still attracted to you. Well, whether or not he's aware of it or not, there's a little part of him that still just wonders. Now, you may never see that from him, and you may not give two shits about it, but it's there. The energy's there. The renewal's there. There's this little part of him that's like, like he knows, like, man, she was a good woman. So there's like whether he would ever admit it to you or not, he knows that he was like, man, Gina's a good woman. I fucked up. So there's like a little part of him, Wade, like that he's keeping deep down inside. There's that little part of him that's like, man, yeah, like, I don't know, like, what if there's that what if there. But for the most part here, he wants to vent to you and he wants advice with mentorship. And there's something going on with his situation where, because he doesn't want to be alone, but he doesn't want to fuck it up either. But over here with the prisoner card, he's fucking it up. But he doesn't understand why. He doesn't have self-awareness, and he doesn't understand himself enough to realize, like, well, this is why you keep doing the same thing and expecting a different result, which is the definition of insanity, right? Now, there's some other things here tied up with his investments. So like maybe he feels like this girl just wants to be with him because he's got money, or maybe he owns his own business, or you know maybe she comes from a dysfunctional family, or she doesn't have a place to live and she's living with him. Like, this could be a lot of things, but there's a concern that he has about her intentions, essentially. Like, she just wants a sugar daddy, someone to take care of her, pay for her, pamper her, put her up in a house, all these things. Now, here's the other part. Sixth Sense is here. He's ignoring the red flags. He doesn't trust himself. He's not listening to his intuition. And basically, he's disconnected from his spirituality. And when I say spirituality, I don't mean traditional spirituality, like he has to be into astrology, tarot cards, crystals, and tattoos, and blah 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 blah, all that bullshit. I mean spirituality in terms of connecting to your soul, your spirit, connecting to your divinity, connecting to the source inside of you, your feelings, your heart, your emotion, all of that, right? Basically, like getting the fuck out of your head and your ego, right? Most people spend their entire lives living thinking that they're their thoughts, thinking that they're ego, thinking that whatever they think and whatever they believe, that's all that there is. And we live in a society and culture that tells us to not listen to our feelings and emotions, don't trust your intuition, and subjects like spirituality and religion are just concepts of invisible things that don't really exist that we do religiously, right? Instead of, no, your divinity is the most important part of you. Like, because you're a spirit, you're a soul, you're not your fucking brain, you're not your ego, you're not your thoughts. But he doesn't know any of this, so he would never trust it. Even though every human being, male or female, doesn't matter, we all have a soul, we all have a spirit, we all have an intuition. And he's not listening to his. So here we have Destiny. This is him kind of fantasizing. He thinks that he's met this wonderful girl. It's like, oh, she's my destiny. But it's all a bunch of bullshit. It's all illusions. And then we have contract here. This is one of two things. One of two things. This is either the expectations that he has of her, the expectations she has of him, or both. Or she might be trying to get him to commit more than he already is. She might be trying to get him to put a ring on it. She might be trying to get him to let her move in. She might be trying to persuade him into going into a deeper level of commitment. Or He wants to go into a deeper level of commitment by telling her to move in, telling her that he wants to marry her, telling her, hey, I want you and all whatever. Okay? So it could go either way. But your boy here, your ex, he's got problems. Sickness here is essentially attached to the illusions, and the sickness has to do more with old programming and old trauma, things that happened to him when he was a child. He wasn't good enough. He wasn't loved. Maybe he had mommy issues. Maybe he had daddy issues. Maybe he had both. Who the fuck knows? But he has some type of issues, and those issues haven't been addressed, and they're fighting. He's got conflict with her. She's got conflict with him. He's got conflict with himself. She's got conflict with herself. It's a shit show. So, and there he is right there at the bottom of the deck. And then underneath that is creation, which is like he's brought all this shit onto himself. He's creating his reality, whether he realizes it or not. But it's a trauma bond. And I don't have a card in this deck that's called trauma bond, but he's got a trauma bond with this girl. So why is he coming over to you? Why is it that the reason that he's coming to you is one of two reasons. One, your energy has softened and changed. And so he's attracted, again, whether you realize it or not, he's attracted to your light. And so whether he's consciously aware of it or not, he feels safe with you. And so he's coming over and he's wanting he's kind of desperate without maybe admitting that he's desperate, but he doesn't know where else to go where he feels safe to kind of breadcrumb his problems out to you, outsource his issues to you, to somebody that he trusts. But like I said at the beginning of the reading, with the mentorship here, is he trusts you. He may not come out and tell you and admit this to your face, but he does internally. And so he's coming to you almost kind of like a mother, you know, for any type of guidance or crumb that he can take from you, because he doesn't know what to do with all of this shit. He doesn't know what to do with himself. He doesn't know what to do with her. So he's coming to you just kind of like, can you help me out here? Now, of course, like I said, he may not come right out and say this to you directly, face to face. He may not admit any of this to you, but that's the intention and the motive behind what it is that he's doing. So, um, yeah, that's what's going on here. He wants you to basically be his therapist or his mother or his counselor or his friend, or I don't know. And again, he may not say these things to you, he may not communicate it to you, but that's the intention. So the answer to your question, why is he coming to you? Because he trusts you, he feels safe with you, his life is a shit show, and it's like you're the light that's attracting the bug, and he feels like you have wisdom, knowledge, or at the very least, you provide a level of comfort for him to where he feels that he might be able to, outsource his issues to you, vent to you, be a sounding board, whatever, what have you. So, yeah, that's why he's coming to you. So you should charge him. You should charge him money. Like, hey, look, if I'm going to be your therapist, then here's my hourly rate. I charge $200 an hour. LP, you are up. You're welcome. It's good to see you, my friend. Hope you guys all have a fun 4th of July, whatever you guys are doing tonight. Tonight. I don't know if I know how to pronounce that word you just said. Having issues with motivation and anhedonia? Anhedonia. I have no idea what the fuck that is. I might have to look that up. Anhedonia is a psychological term that describes a loss of interest or pleasure in activities that were previously enjoyable. Interesting. I just learned something new today. It's a fancy way of saying depressed or without emotional release. Okay, so basically you want to know, why are you unmotivated and why are you depressed? You probably just need to get a better vibrator or a pocket you know what. All right, well, the first card out is Shadow Self, so there's obviously there's something going on within you. He's like, I'm a dude. Like, all right, well, all right, that's cool. You can get, a pocket you know what. All right, so we have Shadow Self, we have sickness. Okay, influence. All right. So the reason that you've lost interest is because you're purpose depressed. All right. So purpose depression. Purpose depression is essentially what happens when we've reached a point in our life where the path that we have been on, the things that we thought we wanted, the people, the places, the stuff, the materialism, the relationships, all the things, the matrix here, all the things that we thought that we wanted, all the things that we were taught and told, here are the things that you need to do. This is what's going to make you happy in life. We follow that path because it's the path that everybody follows. It's the path we've all been told to take. You go to school, you grow up, you get a degree, you pick some fucking thing that you're going to go do for a career, and it's like, well, I don't really know what I want to do, but okay, I guess I've got to pick something anyways. And you go to school, you get your little degree, you go out and you look for a job. Maybe you use your degree, maybe you don't. Doesn't matter. You pick something to make a paycheck. You try to date. You try to do all these things, and the reason that you're empty inside is because you're not being true to who you are. your soul's purpose, your mission, your destiny, your purpose in life, why you incarnated here, why you're here, the purpose of why you're here, right? Now, there's also intertwined in all of that, there's also all of our trauma, all of our disappointments, all of our letdown, things that we experience that we must heal that are just, you know, they're kind of, it's in addition to, for lack of better words. It's like, so it's not just the fact that, hey, I'm not living the life that I came here to live. So of course my soul is going to scream at me and tell me, hey, the reason that you're not happy is because you're not living the fucking life that you came here to live. Right? It's like, you know, human beings are the only thing in the world or in creation who can have an identity crisis. You'll never see a dog complaining about not being a cat. You'll never see a cat complaining about not being a fish. You'll never hear a fish going, I don't know why I'm here. What's the purpose of life? Why am I a fish? Fish don't complain about not being birds. Birds don't complain about not being snakes, or trees. Like human beings are the only thing in creation that gets confused about being what the hell we are. Why am I here? What's my purpose? What am I supposed to do with my life, right? But when you look around at everything else in creation, those things just are. They're just being the thing that they were meant to be. A dog is going to be a dog. A cat's going to be a cat. A tree is going to be a tree. Everything else in the world lives according to the purpose of which it was created to be and function. Human beings are totally different. We have to figure this shit out. Everything else in the world doesn't have to figure it out, right? So the reason that we have to figure it out is because we've been told who we are instead of being taught how to find out who we are. And that's the matrix. The matrix is all the bullshit. All the shit that society, traditions, culture, religion, politics, all that bullshit, the Kool-Aid that we drink that says, oh, well, you have to be this. You have to be this religion because you came from this family, you came from this society, you came from this culture, you came from this background, you came from this religion, you have to be this way, you have to act this way, you have to think this way, you have to get this job, you have to marry this type of person, you have to have this kind of money, ABC, XYZ, that's all the matrix. And so because you have been programmed by the matrix just like everybody's been programmed by the matrix at some point, and the purpose of a spiritual awakening is to come out of the matrix so that we know what it is that we need to do to find our truth, our spiritual truth. Like, okay, well, I don't believe in that shit anymore. I'm going to go within, figure out who the fuck I am apart from all the matrix, find out, well, what do I believe? Why am I here? What's the purpose and meaning of my life? And you got to push out all the external influences. That's why this card is here. The most powerful force in the universe is influence, because everything is a form of influence. If I asked you what's the most powerful force in the universe and you tell me love, love is a form of influence. If you tell me hate, anger, rage, that's a form of influence. If you tell me fear, that's a form of influence. And everything in the world is influencing everything else. The oxygen in the air is influencing your body. Your body, when you exhale, influences the environment. The trees are influencing you. You're influencing the trees. The temperature in the room is influencing you. The sensations in your body, your hunger. When you look at someone, their expressions and micro expressions are influencing you. What they say to you, the tone they say it to you in, the way that they look at you. Everything in the world is a form of influence. Everything, all the time. We're constantly being influenced by each other and by the world around us. So that's why it's the most powerful force in the universe. So you have to evaluate yourself and go, well, what's influencing me the most? What is the most powerful force of influence in my life? Is it other people's opinions? Is it the expectations that I have? Is it my fear? Is it my depression? Is it my lack of purpose in life? Is it my lack of knowledge? Is it lack of love? Is it multiple things? Right? So right now, you're being influenced by, there's the shadow self has to do with addictions and patterns and traumas and things that have happened to you. And sickness is basically the effects or the symptoms of those things being felt. It's the cause and effect. It's like, okay, well, now I'm becoming aware of the fact that I'm depressed and I'm unmotivated. That's the sickness. That's what the purpose depression is doing. It's creating an effect in you. And now because it's affecting you in a way that you're becoming consciously aware of, you're like, well, shit, now I'm finally awakening to the fact that I'm unhappy, I'm unmotivated, I'm depressed, right? So now that you're aware that you have these issues, the next card is mastery. And mastery is you needing to understand and you needing to go out and learn about the meaning and purpose of your life so that you can get out from underneath the bullshit and the illusions that you've been believing in. The illusions card is about you thinking that it's all about you believing in things that are not true. Believing the matrix, believing the system. It's like, no, the matrix is real. It's true. And the illusions card is saying, no, you believe no, and you're invested in believe, and you've believed a lie. It's not true. Who and what you've told that you are, what you've told you're supposed to be, who you're supposed to be, what you're supposed to do, all that shit that's been handed to you on a silver platter and programmed into your mind, your subconscious, your identity, all those things is not true. It's an illusion. You've been believing a lie just like we all have until we awaken to the lie, right? Like the Wizard of Oz movie. If you've ever seen the Wizard of Oz, at the very end of the movie, you know, the wizard is supposed to be this huge, scary, big, godlike figure. And then they go behind the curtain, they find a short, fat little guy who's pretending to be the wizard the whole time. And so he gets busted. He's like, oh, wait, you're not this big, scary, godlike wizard. You're just a short, little, fat, insecure man who is projecting, you know, projecting this image of himself like, well, I wanted to be this big, powerful God because I'm really just this little, short, fat man. So, you know, that was the illusion that he's the great Oz. He's not. He's a little short, fat, insecure nerd man, you know? And so timing is here. And the timing energy for you is all about how are you going to spend your time and what are you going to spend your time on. In other words, the divine is putting the ball back in your court saying, hey, look, because look, you have procrastination here. Right now, you're procrastinating in life. And time and energy are the two most valuable resources that you have that we all have, because we can't reproduce it. When today's gone, you're not getting today back. And when we wake up tomorrow, we have a finite amount of energy to get us through the day. And when that energy's gone, we have to go to sleep and we have to start over again, right? And so what are you going to use the two most valuable resources that you have, time and energy, on? Well, right now, you've been using your two most valuable resources procrastinating. And that makes sense. Well, why are you procrastinating? Is because nothing feels worth your time and energy. Well, how come nothing feels worth your time and energy? Because you're not living according to your truth. You're living according to somebody else's truth. That's why the matrix is here. The thing that you desire, represented by this favored energy, the star, is your hopes, your wishes, your dreams, your desires. What you really want that would really fulfill you can only be found by being true to yourself. You're going to have to go within. You're going to have to face your fears. You're going to have to face your patterns. You're going to have to face your patterns, your addictions, whatever those things are. But then you're also going to have to get self-knowledge about who it is that you are. And you're going to have to peel back the layers of all the matrix, the programming, the bullshit, to get down deep into what it is that you believe for yourself. And if you can do and if you can do that, you have the collective. I'm going to put this over here to the side. You have not now. This card is basically telling you, well, now you're going to start to realize, like, hey, there are certain things that are not meant for me anymore. This, in other words, you'll begin to see, like, okay, this wasn't meant for me. That's not aligned with me. That's not aligned with me. That's not aligned with me. Loss. There are things in your life that you've experienced already, a form of loss. And there could be a fear of loss, like, well, but if I change, and if I remove myself from the matrix, then what? My parents won't love me, my friends won't love me, then I won't have this, I won't do that. There's a fear of loss here, which means when there's a fear of loss, there's a fear of change, because the only reason that you're not wanting to change, the reason that you're procrastinating, is because there's something deep within you that's rising up inside of you that's saying, hey, if you want fulfillment and if you want happiness, you're going to have to make this change. But there's this part of you that knows, but if you make that change, then there's going to be a consequence, and you're perceiving the consequence in a negative way. You're going, oh, but there's going to be a consequence. It's going to be negative. I'm going to lose something. And the truth is you might lose something, but it's not something that was even valuable to you. It's just comfortable. So you can be fulfilled, you can have your fulfillment, or you can have comfort. It's up to you. And comfort and fulfillment are not the same thing. Comfort is you staying in the same energy that you are, and that's just going to grow worse and worse and worse and worse. You're going to be more unmotivated and even more depressed, but it's comfortable because, hey, I don't have to lose anything and it doesn't require me to change anything. I can just sit in my depression, in my sadness, and in my lack of motivation. Or I can do the hard thing and I can go confront all of this and I can take a different path, which might mean leaving some things behind, cutting some things out of my life. And the answer to all your problems is you getting connected to your higher power, connected to your divinity. And then at the minute that you do that, you're going to have a new beginning. Your whole life is going to transform and you're having a new start. Genesis. This is all about having a new beginning. And then as you begin to have a new beginning, because you're now connected to your higher power, your beliefs change, your values change, everything begins to change. Paradigms is your thoughts, your beliefs, your perspective, your perception of reality, why you thought you were here, what you thought was meant for you, what you thought was good for you. All of that shit's going to change because now you're connected to your divine truth. Illumination. And as you begin to go through the process of getting connected to your higher power, all of a sudden now you're illuminated. You start to experience illumination. Revelations, creativity, aha moments, epiphanies, spiritual awakening is happening. Like, oh my God, I get it now. I'm supposed to do this. I'm supposed to go here. I'm supposed to do this. I'm supposed to do that. I'm supposed to create this. This is meant for me. That's not meant for me. And then look, love. The reason that you've been struggling in dating is because all the people that you've been trying to connect with in your life have been attached to the matrix and not attached to your truth. But when you connect to your truth and your divinity, then you will attract the partner that's meant for you because she's out there, assuming that you like women. There is love for you. There's love waiting for you. There's a divine partnership waiting for you. And if you're not sure what to do, now this is where this card, I put this card aside for a second ago, because I knew that this was tied to something else that I was going to say to you. So mentorship there's two energies attached to this for you. And the reason I'm spending so much time on your reading, by the way, is because the divine is telling me to and saying, they really need this. They really need this. They're the now. And so this is a message of an opportunity for you to really sit with the things that I'm saying, and you can come back to this video once it's over, because then it'll be uploaded to YouTube, and you can come back to this live, and you can, scroll back to your part of the reading, and you can rewatch it as many times as you need to. The first energy is, if you're not sure what to do, then invest in somebody who can help you. Invest in a coach, whether it's a life coach, whether it's readings, whether it's a course, whether it's reading books. Start to invest in whatever you need to do to help you understand yourself. That's what I had to do. I didn't just end up here magically. I didn't just wake up knowing who I was, why I'm here, why I'm supposed to be doing what I'm doing. It took me like almost 15 years of learning, growing, deconstructing. Like, I've had to do everything that's in this reading for you. I've had to go through in my own life. But it doesn't have to take you as long as it took me. That's the beauty of it, because I didn't have somebody on YouTube going, "Hey, this is what's wrong. This is what you need to do to fix it." I didn't have these resources, but you do. So find somebody or something that will fill in your knowledge gaps, that will give you the knowledge and the truth, the wisdom that you need to understand what it is that you wanted, like how to understand yourself, how to heal yourself, how to awaken to who you are, all the things. And then once you become the new you that you can become if you choose that path, then you have these two energies, mentorship and collective, which means once you once you come out the other side of all this and all the lights turn on, you're like, "Oh, I get it now. Now I know why I'm here. I know what I'm supposed to do." When all that happens for you, you're going to want to go do that for other people. So this is really a glimpse, a foreshadow of what you potentially might end up doing with that knowledge. You might end up helping people in a similar way. That might become your story. That might become your purpose. Maybe you become a coach. Maybe you become somebody who goes out and says, "Hey, you know what? I used to be like ABC, X, Y, and Z. And then I healed, I awakened, and now I'm helping people do the same thing that I did." You're going to go out and find people, or people will come to you who've gone through similar things or are in a similar place that you're in now. And you're like, "Yeah, I used to be just like you. I know exactly what it feels like. I know exactly what you're going through. This is what you need to do." And you'll have that experience, you'll have that wisdom, you'll have that knowledge to share with them. You know, and that's why the collective is here. The collective is basically just a metaphor for a group of people, a large group of people that would connect with you and understand you and needs what you have. And you will be the mentor at that point. You will be the person. They're coming to you, just like you're here, quote unquote, getting guidance through this reading from me. You will go out and you will give that, you will pay that forward to somebody else once you've gotten on the other side of all of this. Okay. So I spent a little bit extra time on your reading because the divine said that you were actually kind of in somewhat of a desperate place um, in your life right now. And so when the divine tells me something, I listen to it. And, you know, if there's any validity to anything that I've said, then you will you'll start getting proof of it. Like you'll start to have synchronicities, you'll start to see things, all this stuff. If there's any validity to anything that I've said here, then you'll start to see it in your life. It'll come to you like, "Hey, holy shit. Like, wow, that stuff that guy on YouTube said, it's starting to happen." You know? So that's how you can always know that this stuff is real or not. All right, Carol Ann or Michelle, if you're here, you guys can ask your questions. And again, everybody, I don't know how long I'm going to be on here. Every minute that goes by is a minute closer that I'll be gone, because as soon as my person sends me a text message, I am gone. I'm out. She has not messaged me yet, but when she does, you're so welcome, LP. And again, everybody else who's here, if you're new, please please like and subscribe to the channel if you find this information valuable. And also, I'll just mention it one more time. I've posted a video on my channel. It's the latest video that's posted. It should either say something about Cancer season or July, what's coming up for everybody, all zodiac signs with timestamps. There could be additional messages there for you. You can go back to my page. You'll see the video, click on it, and there should be timestamps in the description box. You can skip right to your zodiac, or if you're cross-watching for somebody else, you can skip to their zodiac sign. There could be additional information or messages there for you. Okay, is Devante here? Yes, Devante is. Okay, can I get the same reading Scorpio did regarding reconciliation between me and acquaintance named Julian. Julian Keller, who I'm at strife with now. Okay, yeah, let's take a look and see what's going on between you and Julian. Also, for those of you that would like to book a personal or private reading, obviously those go much, much, much more in depth. You can find that information in the description box as well. Just shoot me an email. Let me know that you would like to book a private and personal reading, and we will communicate in email. I will get your questions from you. I will make sure that I know exactly what it is that you need, and we can go from there. And it's very personal. It's very specific to you and your situation, and they go much more in depth. Oy, oy, oy. I'm going to say, Devonte, I'm going to say that there's a. I'm just going to kind of give you the. I'm going to go through everything here. I'm going to explain everything to you, but I'm just going to tell you what I'm seeing so far. I'm just going to give you the kind of like the overview, the big picture, real quick. All right. Um, the big picture here is that there's like a 60-40% chance that you could maybe reconcile with this person, 60% not, 40% so. It might even be 70% not and 30% no. And I'm going to show you why here in a second here. There's a few cards at the bottom of the deck I'm going to show you. But right now, I feel well, first let me get these other cards out here because it's going to make more sense. There we go. There was obviously a betrayal here. Let's start there. We have the moon, which is secrets, things that are being hidden. We have the Ten of Swords, which is about feeling backstabbed, feeling betrayed, something ending in a painful way. We have the Seven of Swords in reverse, which means, hey, something came to light. We have the Three of Cups. There was potentially multiple people involved. It could have even been like cheating or an affair. And then we have Justice. So Justice is also showing that, hey, yeah, the truth came to light. And Lady Justice here, that's kind of what her job is. Her job is to go out and bring all things to light eventually. So I feel that whatever happened between you guys, the truth came out, and obviously that has, you know, has ended things. And if it hasn't ended things, then it's basically there's been a lot of pain, a lot of betrayal. But I do feel that right now it's probably ended more than not. So as a result of all of this, I feel like you and this person, you and Julian, are both in this Eight of Swords, but for different reasons. obviously you would be in the Eight of Swords because you found out and you have all these questions about like, well, why did this happen? Why did they do this? You know, um, confusion about the whole situation, and mixed feelings and emotions where it's kind of like, feeling hurt and then feeling angry, feeling hurt and then feeling angry, feeling sad, depressed, feeling angry and pissed off. Now, they're also in the Eight of Swords, but for a different reason. They're in the Eight of Swords because of guilt, feeling ashamed, obviously being caught. But they're also playing. There's a lack of responsibility and accountability. In other words, they want to blame their poor behavior on something else. It's like, well, yeah, I might have done that, but this is why. I did it because of this. Now, regardless of whether or not they've told you that this is why they did it, it doesn't matter whether they've told you why or not. In other words, they're justifying their behavior in their mind so that they don't have to confront the guilt and shame for what they've done. And that's why most people justify it. People justify their bad and shitty behavior to try to soothe themselves for really shitty things that they've done. Like, well, yeah, I did that, but I wouldn't have if they would have done this, or I did that, yeah, I may have done that, but they did that to me. So it's equal, so it's fair. People justify their shitty behavior to make themselves feel better instead of taking accountability and responsibility for the shitty things that they've done and becoming a better person, right? But hey, that's, you know, neither here nor there. So justice is here. You could have been dealing with a Libra. We have the Hermit. You could have been dealing with a Virgo. You could be a Libra or a Virgo. They could have been a Libra or a Virgo, or there could have been a Libra or a Virgo involved. I'm just giving you the signs here. We also have the Moon, which is Pisces energy. You could have been you could be a Pisces. They could be a Pisces. There could have been a third person there that was a Pisces. We have the Empress, which is also Taurus and Libra. So there's a Taurus energy there. There's a double Libra energy there. So just throwing all that out there because people like to know. And then you have the World, which is Saturn energy, which I believe is Capricorn and Aquarius. So you could be dealing with Capricorn or Aquarius, if I'm remembering correctly. So there's all that the astrological information. But anyways, the truth came to light here, right? But justice is also saying here that in your relationship there was a lack of fairness, there was lack of truth, there was lack of balance here. Now, right now, you or them or both of you are in kind of like hermit mode. You're laying low, you're in isolation, and basically there is either a lack of like knowledge being used, like this person knew better, because the hermit is the wise sage. It represents wisdom and knowledge, understanding, like somebody who's extremely smart. So they either just chose not to use their knowledge, or they need to learn a lot of shit because maybe they're just not very intelligent. But this is also a card about reflection and soul searching. So, maybe you've been spending a lot of time ruminating, thinking about this. Maybe this other person's been spending a lot of time ruminating, reflecting, and soul searching. Then you have the Seven of Pentacles, which is about waiting. It's about patience. It's about investing in something, but it's also about making an assessment, like being curious. It's inspecting something. It's watching something, right? It's like you go outside and you notice some ants like crawling around a plant and they're doing something. You're like, oh, that's interesting. So you just sit there and you're watching these ants do something. You're observing, kind of, right? And so there's this waiting here, but there's also this sense of like, is this something worth investing in? But there's also this energy attached to the Seven of Pentacles of waiting for something to happen here. Because I think there's a part of you that's wondering if it's worth investing in, if this is something worth waiting for. Is this something like there's, again, Eight of Swords. There's a lot of confusion here about what do I do, what do I not do? And the reason that the confusion is here is because there was obviously an emotional investment. And when you're emotionally invested in somebody that fucks you over, it's not just so easy to just walk away from it, even if you do. Even if you walk away and you're like, well, fuck them. They hurt me, they betrayed me, they're a piece of shit, and I leave. But deep, deep down inside of us, we still feel the pain of the loss because we love that person. And that love doesn't go away just because they hurt us. And so that's kind of what's represented here. Seven of Swords, we talked about that. That's the truth coming to light. You found out about whatever this situation is. Three of Cups, there was multiple people involved. Take it as it will. And then we have the Empress here. So somebody here likes getting a lot of attention. They're attractive, they like getting attention from other people, they like feeling unique, special, and significant. But there's also a card here of just, you feeling very attracted to this person, which is why it's not so easy to let go of them, right? So there was two energies attached there. The Moon card, again, there were secrets here, things that you didn't see that this person was doing. The Ten of Swords, there was a betrayal. And then the World card here basically is essentially, the end, the completion. Like this is the end of the book, the last chapter. It's closing out a cycle. It's done, completion. However, at the bottom of the deck, we do have the Eight of Wands underneath the Ten of Swords. And I'm just going to look at one more. Then you have Death. So you may hear from this person again at some point, but ultimately, I think that this is done. We have the World card, we have the Ten of Swords, and we have Death. You could have an exchange with this person. You might hear from them, they might hear from you. There might be, it's possible that you could communicate with this person one more time, or maybe even a few times. But I don't think this relationship is going to resurrect itself. Whatever has happened that ended this, or if it hasn't ended, whatever happened, I don't think that you're going to be able to recover from it. I think it's too painful. I think that ultimately there will be too many trust issues. I think there were too many secrets. I don't see it recovering. So, and again, I just got to keep it real on my channel, but I think that this is over. Even if it doesn't feel like it is right now, even like I said, even if you communicate with this person a few more times, I feel like that for the long-term potential outcome between you and this person is it's probably over. Okay, who's next? Carol Ann, if you're here, now is the time to ask your question. Yeah. I mean, I would definitely let it go, man. Uh, Especially if you've been here before, you've been stressing. Like, look, and I'm not saying this is easy to do. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it. But just, I've had a shit ton of not good experiences when it comes to relationships. And just as I got older, like I'll be 44 in September, and it took me a really long time to learn this, but I've had to learn, like, above all else, protect your peace. Anything that takes your peace away from you is not worth it. The exception to that rule is when you have found somebody that is equally invested in a relationship with you, because there's no such thing as a perfect relationship. There's always going to be conflict, potential, issues that arise. Then yeah, of course, anytime there's conflict, that's going to take away from your peace. But the difference there is, yeah, I'm willing to allow my peace to be disturbed when it's with somebody who I'm invested in, they're invested in me, and we're both human, and we just have to work through it. But outside of that, it's not worth it. All right. So I just got my text message from my person that it's free and clear for me to go over. So unfortunately, Carolyn, you will be my last person. What's going to happen when I get home? And does she like me? Oh, wait, what? What's going to happen when you get home, and who are you talking about? And does she like me? Can you ask that question a little bit better so I understand the context? And I apologize to everybody else that was waiting, but I will be signing off after this reading. And I'm just telling everybody now so you don't have to wait around anymore. So, but if you want a reading, for those of you that I didn't get to, you can send me an email. All that information's in the description box, and you can book a private reading with me, and you'll get a more in-depth reading than you would even right now. Just as a side note. Otherwise, I'll see you the next time that I come on and I go live. I'm moving home and I'm wondering what will happen when I get back. And does she like me back? Okay, but who are you talking about? Who is she that likes you back? Who is this person? Is this a sister? Is this your mom? Is this a girlfriend? Is this a lover? Is this a family member? Is this your daughter, your kid? Who is the she that you're wondering about? Like what person is this in your life? Allie. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm blind. I'm getting old and I'm blind. Allie. Okay, so you want to know about Allie. So what's going to happen between you and Allie when you go back home? Future outcome between you and Allie when you go back home. So far, it's looking good. So you have the Page of Wands. The Page of Wands is excitement. It's fun. Uh, you know, it's good news. It's excitement. All right, let's see. All right. So, however, it does look like there is there's some stuff that you guys need to work. You guys need to have a serious. There's a conversation that you guys are needing to have. And if you guys can work through the difficulty of kind of maybe a difficult conversation that you both need to have, there's a chance for you guys to have like a whole new, like a fresh start with each other. Okay. And the reason I say that is we got the Six of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck, and then you have the Fool. Right. So I'm gonna put all this together for you real quick. So basically, initially there's the excitement. Like this is like the very beginning, right? You go home, you connect with each other, and there's that initial moment of excitement, right? However, the High Priestess is here, and the High Priestess is about, basically withholding information, withholding knowledge. It's somebody who's in the context of your reading. Now this is also Pisces energy. We have double Pisces, so maybe you could be a Pisces, they could be a Pisces, if that matters to you, but I'm putting it out there. But the High Priestess is somebody who intuitively or they know that, hey, we have something that we have to talk about. There's something that we're going to have to address. There's a thing that we're going to have to, like, it's kind of like, we know that we're going to have to talk about the pink elephant in the room. We can't ignore the pink elephant in the room forever. That's what this is. right? So uh, the Eight of Wands, there's two energies attached to that. It's about things could move very quickly, but it's also about a lot of communication and potentially a lot of progress that could be made in a short amount of time. But this is a lot of communication. At the very least, it's a lot of communication. All right, and but it gets deeper. So initially with the Page of Wands, this is like shallow surface level talking communication. But then things get deeper. So it's like you go from surface level conversation to High Priestess, meaning like you start to go deeper into, like now we're talking about like real life shit. We're talking about the pink elephant in the room. Eight of Wands is having the conversation. You're covering a lot of ground in conversation because the Eight of Wands is about progress, but it's about quick progress, fast moving progress here. Now, this is what's going to kind of determine everything with the Hangman. Now, the Hangman is kind of like a fork in the road for you guys. It could go one of two ways. If you're able to see each other's perspective, meaning if you're able to put yourself in their shoes and they're able to put themselves in your shoes, and you're both able to just share your differences or your different perspectives without judging each other or getting pissed or getting hurt or getting defensive or getting triggered. If you're able to just say, hey, I'm going to put myself in your shoes and hear you out, I'm going to try to understand you, even if I disagree with it, right? Because the point of having a conversation isn't about agreement or disagreeing, it's just about sharing and being heard. If you can just allow yourself to be heard and understood, and they can allow you to be heard and understood, then this could be a positive outcome. However, if you can't, if you're incapable of having a conversation and you can't see the other person's perspective, then you've got this Five of Cups and you have this Five of Wands, which is conflict, disagreements, being triggering each other, focusing on what happened in the past, blaming each other, being a victim. Yeah, but you did this, but I did that because you did this, or you didn't do that, or you should have. Like it could turn into a conflict very quickly, right? And if you guys end up in this conflict with the Five of Wands, then you're going to end up in grief, loss, regret, and basically you're probably just going to like, blow the whole thing up with the Five of Cups here. Now, there is another energy attached to the Five of Cups, which is basically if, again, you put yourself in their shoes and they put themselves in your shoes, then you'll both be able to apologize or make right of any wrongs that you've done to each other. You'll be able to make it right and say, hey, you know what? I'm really sorry about whatever I said or I did back then. And I'm just using an example because I don't know what happened between you and this person, between you and Allie. And Allie might do the same thing for you. It's like, hey, you know what? I'm really sorry for what I did back then. There's an opportunity for you guys to apologize, rebuild a bridge, put the past behind you, and like I said, have this brand new start with the Fool. So there's one or two outcomes here with the Hangman. You guys will listen and share. You'll be generous. You'll be understanding. You guys will be fair and kind and just to each other. Hence the scale. Scales always represents fairness, balance, and justice, and truth, and loyalty. And the Six of Pentacles itself is just about generosity, a willingness to give to each other, not to get, but to give. I'm giving out of the generosity of my heart, and I'm not expecting anything in return. And if you guys can do that, you'll have a good outcome. You'll have the Fool. But if you guys do this, if you don't do everything that I just said, then there's going to be a lot of conflict. You're going to start blaming each other. You're just going to start pointing the fingers at each other. You're going to get into a conflict and an argument, and you're going to just open up the whole thing all over again, and then you're going to end up here. You're going to blow the relationship up. It's probably going to end. So the outcome is in your hands, and Allie's hands. It's in both of your hands. So if you can be understanding, if you can put yourself in their shoes and you can hear them out, not pass judgment, not criticize them, not blame them, not project what you think happened onto it, but you can just listen to them. You can get radically curious. You can ask a shit ton of questions, but not doing it from a judgmental place. You're not interrogating them. They're not interrogating you. Then there's opportunity here for you guys to have a brand new beginning that, again, could lead to a lot of fun and a lot of excitement. But it's in your hands and Allie's hands. It's in both of your hands. So if you can play nice together, you got a new beginning. All right. So with that being said, I appreciate everybody hopping on for just a hot minute. I'm sorry I can't be on longer. I'm sorry I can't stay. I've got to go. But I appreciate you all. Gene, it's good to see you, my friend. Thank you for hopping on for a hot minute, as always, my dear friend, and being a mod. Helps me out so much. And then, like I said, everybody or whoever else is here, if you found this helpful, like and subscribe on your way out. And go check out the video on my playlist called Cancer Season or July, what's coming up for you. It's got timestamps. There could be additional messages for you. It's all about this entire month of July. If you would like to book a personal or private reading, you can do that also. Information for that is in the description box of this video. Shoot me an email. I'll get all the information from you, what you want, what questions you have, all the things. Okay? Happy 4th of July to everybody. Happy Independence Day. I will see you guys hopefully soon.